New Super League twist brings Liverpool back in focus as UEFA threatened. The legal wrangling rumbles on as another motion is filed with Spanish court. The European Super League plot may have crashed and burned just 48 hours from its takeoff back in April, but the project remains far from over. While Liverpool, Chelsea, Manchester United, Manchester City, Arsenal, Tottenham Hotspur, AC Milan, Inter Milan, and Atletico Madrid all rode back on their initial claims that it was the way to take football forward, Real Madrid, Barcelona and Juventus have remained defiant in the face of the threat of punitive action from UEFA. Among the sanctions that the three dissident clubs have been threatened with is their removal from Champions League competition. A move that has been blocked for now by the Swiss ministry. With the three clubs allowed to take their place in UEFA's showpiece final despite them being at loggerheads with European football's governing body. Liverpool owners Fenway Sports Group were met with a fierce backlash in the wake of the proposals being unveiled in April. With fans protesting against the US owners outside Anfield and the idea becoming so toxic that the Reds lost corporate partner Tribus Watches. No sooner had it been made public late on a Sunday night, FSG principal owner John W. Henry was sitting in front of a camera in a side room at Fenway Park in Boston, appealing to Liverpool fans for their forgiveness. Apology after apology came from the clubs, who eventually rejected the idea, with promises made to increase fan representation at board level. With the Liverpool supporters group Spirit of Shankly meeting with Reds CEO Billy Hogan to try and find a meaningful way forward, not simply a token gesture. The clubs had some work to do to get back on side with UEFA, all 9 of them signing up to sanctions such as a collective €15 million fine that would be spent on grassroots football. Having 5% withheld for a season from their revenues accrued from UEFA competition and being hit with a €100 million fine should they seek to play in another unauthorized competition. But those sanctions are at the heart of another court battle. Barcelona, Real Madrid and Juventus remain stuck on the Super League idea, in no small part due to their perilous financial situations that have been exposed by the pandemic. They are unhappy that the other 9 clubs have returned to the bosom of UEFA and believe they have a legally binding agreement. They also are ready to challenge what they feel is the monopolization of European football by UEFA. Claiming that it is unfair that they dictate on strategy and where the money goes, believing that it is the clubs themselves that hold the real power. That argument was enough to convince a Swiss court, after the original motion was filed in a Madrid court, that UEFA could not press ahead with sanctions. The three clubs, while likely realizing that their hopes of the Super League as they wanted it are gone, are hoping a court rules in their favor that UEFA cannot hold total power when it comes to broadcast and commercial rights relating to UEFA competitions. Something that the 12 clubs had been pushing for a greater say in before the controversial plans were announced. But in the latest twist, the three clubs have now dragged the other 9 back into the conversation. The company behind the Super League, A22, lodging an appeal with a Madrid court to have the sanctions placed by UEFA and the rest annulled. Tariq Panya of the New York Times, one of those to lead on the Super League story, posted on social media. New motion filed with Madrid court by A22, the company behind Super League. It is seeking to scrap the agreement UEFA signed with the 9 clubs, including 6 Premier League teams, after they backed away from the project. Would mean fines and penalties are annulled. UEFA has 5 days to respond. A decision could take a few weeks but would be a huge blow if implemented. A22 is also filing to make UEFA cancel the disciplinary against Juve, Real and Barca in its entirety. It's currently stayed, pending UEFA's appeal against the April 18 injunction by the Madrid court. Such a move brings the involvement of Liverpool and the other 8 clubs who renounced the Super League idea back into focus. With the 3 clubs who remain espoused to it stating that the others have yet to formally leave, with Barcelona's new president Joan Laporta. Returning for a second stint after the tumultuous reign of Josep Maria Bartomeu, blasting the Reds and those who left. He declared, Liverpool and United were the real founders of the Super League. UEFA threatened and was demagogic. The clubs have still not paid the compensation for leaving. The Super League project is alive. It will be the most attractive competition in the world, and it will be based on meritocracy and solidarity. The latest move from A22 and the 3 clubs agitating for the rise of the Super League still suggests that they aren't willing to give up on the involvement of the 9. With whom they were in cahoots only a couple of months ago. Whether it is to curry favor or whether it is to aid their own case against UEFA and wielding of their power, the reality is that it will all come down to money. Where it comes from and how it is all shared out, and broadcast and commercial rights will be at the very heart of the argument.